I woke up because my dog was standing over my bed, staring at me. He never did that. He slept downstairs, always, but there he was, perfectly still, his shadow stretching too long across the wall. I reached out, then stopped. Something about him felt wrong, like he was remembering how to look like a dog instead of being one. My phone buzzed in my hand. The outdoor camera had detected movement near the tree line behind my house. I checked the time stamp. It was from 10 minutes ago. Another alert followed, and another. Each one showed the same thing. My dog, standing at the edge of the trees, facing the house, not moving. I slowly lifted my eyes from the screen back to the thing beside my bed. It was still staring at me. Then it smiled the way a person would, like it had finally learned how. I didn't scream because my body forgot how. The thing beside my bed held my dog's shape perfectly, except for the smile, stretched and wrong. My phone showed my dog still standing at the tree line outside. There were two of them. When I ran, they didn't chase, they waited. In the dark basement, I heard my own voice call my name, and when the light flickered on, I saw it wearing my face. Then something upstairs growled, real and furious. The growling came closer, each step heavy and certain, and the thing, wearing my face backed into the shadows, still smiling like it knew something I didn't. The air thickened with the smell of wet fur and rot, and I realized the sound upstairs wasn't chasing me, it was circling. In the dark, something brushed my shoulder, gentle, familiar, and whispered my name like it was practicing. The whisper faded and the basement door creaked open on its own, letting a strip of light crawl down the stairs. I heard nails tapping wood, slow and careful, stopping whenever I breathed too loud. My phone buzzed again in my pocket, vibrating like a warning I didn't want to read. Whatever was upstairs had learned where I was, and it wasn't pretending anymore. The tapping stopped abruptly, and darkness swallowed the basement, so thick it felt like it was pressing against my skin. Cold breath brushed my neck, heavy and wrong, and a shape moved just beyond my sight, stretching shadows where none should be. Upstairs, deliberate footsteps echoed, slow and mocking, counting my fear before I even dared to move. A low growl rolled through the house, vibrating through the walls, and the thing behind me shifted closer, its presence pressing into my chest. Every instinct screamed to run, but the stairs above creaked again, each step a taunt. In the dark, I could feel its eyes on me, patient and hungry, waiting for the exact moment I made a mistake. I grabbed the knife from the floor, my fingers slick with sweat, the weight of it the only thing keeping me real. The blade shook as I held it up, useless against the dark pressing in on me. The air turned cold and metallic, and the footsteps upstairs stopped all at once. Then my name whispered through the basement again, closer now, and I knew it was watching how tightly I held the knife, learning what scared me most. I tightened my grip on the knife, heart hammering, as the shadows in the basement pulsed with movement. Something cold and heavy brushed against my arm, and I swung blindly, hitting nothing. Then came a slow, deliberate knocking on the basement door, each tap echoing through the darkness. Upstairs, the pacing resumed, slower now, deliberate, and the whisper of my name dragged out with each syllable, testing me, taunting me, just waiting. I edged toward the basement door, knife raised, every muscle tense. The knocking continued, faster now, urgent and angry, rattling the old wood. I cracked the door open, seeing nothing but darkness, yet the air felt alive, heavy, and hungry. A low growl came from behind me, and the shadow stretched across the basement floor. Upstairs, the pacing turned into a deliberate march down the stairs, and I turned and ran, heart hammering, desperate to escape. I bolted up the basement stairs, the shadows clinging to me like smoke. The knocking and growls followed, louder, closer, every step echoing through the empty house. My knife felt useless in my hand as I skidded around corners, trying doors, but each one slammed shut or stuck. The thing's whispers trailed me, stretching my name across every wall, and I ran faster, knowing it was right behind me. I slammed into the hallway, gasping, my heart hammering in my ears as the footsteps behind me closed in and the whispers twisted into mocking laughter. I threw myself at the front door, yanking the handle, then kicked it again and again until the wood finally cracked and gave way. Cold night air rushed over me as I stumbled outside, but even as I ran into the dark, I could hear it behind me, knocking from inside the house, still following. I didn't stop running, legs burning, lungs screaming, the night pressing down around me. My dog appeared at the edge of the yard, real this time, barking frantically, and I scooped him up, keeping my eyes locked on the house. From the doorway, shadows twisted and stretched, moving in ways they shouldn't, and I knew it hadn't left. It was waiting, patient and hungry, and I ran harder, knowing that the moment I slowed, it would strike. My legs began to fail me, each step heavier than the last, breath tearing at my chest as the yard stretched on forever. Behind me, the shadows detached from the house and spilled into the night, moving fast now, no longer hiding, no longer pretending. I heard it gaining ground, footsteps sinking with my own breath close enough to feel on my back. My vision blurred, strength draining, and I knew it had waited for this moment, when I was tired, when running was no longer an option. Panic surged as I stumbled, nearly falling, my dog whining at my side. The thing was closer now, its presence heavy and suffocating, matching my pace effortlessly. Every scream I wanted to let out died in my throat. I could feel its eyes on me, watching, calculating, learning exactly how to make me falter. My legs screamed to stop, but I forced myself forward, heart hammering, knowing one wrong step would be the last. My legs burned, my breath tearing apart as the thing closed in, its shadow swallowing the ground behind me. In pure panic, I grabbed my dog and hurled him back toward it, not thinking, just needing the weight gone, the moment bought. I didn't wait to hear what happened. I dove off the path and crammed myself into a thick bush, branches ripping at my skin as I curled tight and held my breath, listening as something heavy moved past, sniffing, deciding if I was still worth chasing. I pressed myself deeper into the bush, stomach twisting as guttural sounds reached my ears. Wet tearing, low growls, and frantic whines, the thing had caught my dog. I forced myself not to look, but the sounds of it ripping and feasting, savoring every movement, made my blood run cold. I could hear it growl in satisfaction, slow and deliberate, as if it were learning, understanding, enjoying the fear it had just sown. My heart pounded, and I realized I had only bought myself a moment, not safety. I pressed myself deeper into the bush, branches cutting into my skin, trying to disappear into the darkness. The growls from the clearing had stopped, replaced by slow, deliberate breathing that circled me like a predator. I held my breath, heart hammering, as its shadow stretched over the bush. Then, just as I thought I had hidden, I felt a wet, cold nose press against my neck, and a voice whispered perfectly familiar, "Found you."